Hector.
Who flew that plane?
Where is your boss? The chief of police.
You passing through San Lucas? It can be quite dangerous. The cartels destroy everything.
There's another one of you hiding.
I have what you want.
You killed my brother-in-law, Hector. You make a deal, and I will spare you all.
And mess all the fun?
Okay, have it your way.
We need to secure the house.
Where are you from?
Ukraine. The man who raised me and taught me everything I know. A man you wouldn't want to cross.
There's nowhere to run.
You're a survivor.
You can't save this family. No matter how good you are, they will die sooner or later.
I don't even know your name.
Dominique.
Hello, everyone. My name is Heather Hurt with the NRW, where nerds rule the world, and I am here with Maurice Compte, who plays Chief Santiago in the upcoming film Dominique, which at the time of recording is like 2 days away. How are you feeling about that, sir?
Great. I'm happy to actually be able to bring this film out to, the audiences at large and, give something in this time that's going to hopefully inspire them and, make them feel, connected to all the crazy changes that are happening in this world in some maybe esoteric internalized way or something,
Absolutely, and it gives an interesting view of political dynamics in other places. So it's an interesting take for sure. Santiago is a very interesting character. He's very familial. He's very passionate. How did you read him? How did you feel when you first read him?
They had originally wanted me to read they originally offered me Julio. Which I enjoyed reading, but I just felt that really what Dominique, what Oksana needed was somebody to kind of juxtapose her character so that she could really come out and shine. And, I really felt that what I would have been able to bring to a character like that was really going to help Oksana, bring out the Dominique character to its full fruition and power.
Absolutely. And that's something that's really important. It's not just Santiago, it's everything around him that gives her a new strength, a new opinion. Why do you think that family and not just family, but passion and love are so important in this film that's, technically about an action hero taking down a drug cartel?
I think it's the main thing we relate to as human beings. I mean, we're always moved by things that move us, and it's all about how we feel. But the depth of love is really equally correlated to the amount of passion that we end up with something. You know what I mean? How much passion we have for something is how much we're willing to put on the line for it. All of these things kind of play parts into the evolution of the other one. And I think that, what it is that when you start finding things that you care about, you really end up going to extreme risks to really have that passion. That's the beauty of life, is that we're not just interacting with life, but we're interacting with our own emotional life, in the process. And normally it has a lot to do with that. It's that feeling of connectedness and love and passion and things that drive us. I think that's the process of life for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a wonderful way to put it. There's a lot of, speaking of like real life connectedness, this is a very physical and very practical film. There's not a lot of like over the top special effects. It seems very practical for an action film of today. Is that something you look forward to? Did that make it feel more real when you were in that place?
Well, yeah, the amount of, I think, when you're able to do more with less, the audience feels more connected to it. It feels more accessible to them. When you're going into, and not that I'm against it, I'm doing a film that is also going to deal with, alternate realities and stuff like that, but it hits you a little bit different. I think films that have that grassroots feel have a more immediate effect on the person watching it, where they can see themselves in that role because there isn't so much separating one reality from the other. In other words, the viewer from what they're viewing.
And let's talk about the viewer. What would you like when a member of the audience is watching this? What would you like them to take away from what's supposed to be a prequel to an ongoing series? What would you like them to see?
I would like them to see a woman empowered. I would like for them to understand, again, there's a cultural aspect to it, which is Oksana is Ukrainian, and there's a lot going on in the Ukraine right now. And we spend a lot of time focusing on, the male contribution, this ongoing battle seems to be going between factions. But when we think about what's going on in the Ukraine, we only think about the men. We really hardly ever think about the women that are going on over there. And I'm sure that, if the women in Ukraine need something right now to keep them going, it's going to be a film like Dominique, and that's going to be wonderful. That's a good feeling,
Absolutely. That's really nice. Let's talk about culture a little bit. There is a very down home feeling to so much of this movie, because you have this beautiful family that's really just trying to give Dominique a new look on life, a new lot. Is that familial level? And I know we talked about reality and we want to see what we want to see, but why a family? What makes a family so important from an action perspective?
Well, I think that a family really is the indicative, archetype of home. Mm-hmm. And I think that in one way, like, we're all trying to get back home, whether it's, through life actions, through beliefs and rituals and, things that we believe and follow, whether we believe our home to be here in a more spiritual place. We really have that very, very deep connection to what home is and what home represents. And a lot of it plays into that. We're looking to rescue ourselves, we're looking for our own home.
Absolutely. So let's get back to Santiago a little bit more, of course, because that's who you are. He is very knowledgeable. He's very aware, but he kind of holds a lot of that in, especially at the forefront. What is he trying to protect other than, Dominique? Other than her, what is he trying to protect?
I don't think there's anything to protect. I think he overplays his hand. I think he feels overly confident in a situation and he completely underestimates the situation. I think that really is the explosive part of the film, is that, a guy comes in who is completely capable, but he underestimates the situation mm-hmm. to his own detriment, and things slowly begin to unravel for him, and again, there's nothing more powerful than a lioness protecting her cub. When Dominique gets something to fight for, that family aspect, that home aspect, like, she becomes a different creature. Mm-hmm. That's really, like, again, that's the feminine. That's the, that's the mother instinct coming out, which, you know, again, is going to be wonderful for women to watch.
Absolutely. And my final question for you today, this is supposed to be, Dominique is supposed to be a prequel. What would you like to see in the franchise going forward?
I would just like to be able to understand, or have the audience understand, that, you know, a person like Dominique who's crafted, it's never a linear path. You know, I think we have these ideas of, you know, when you see a person like Dominique, and they do exist in the real world, but when we see them, they seem so out of reach to us, you know, and be able to create a story for her that's relatable to other people as a, you know, as a blueprint for them to be able to sort of follow in their own life, to be able to empower themselves, and you know, especially the younger generation, you know, and feel that they can take back control of their life if they don't feel that it's in their power right now.
Looking forward to it. Hopefully we get that. Dominique is in theaters, on digital and on demand on October 11th. Maurice, thank you so much for your time, and you have a wonderful day.
Thank you.